This podcast is powered by The Plug.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you or your company are looking to jump into the podcast world, now is the time. The Plug Agency is here to connect you to the full power of podcasting. You just record and leave the rest to us. The people are listening and want to hear from you. Theplug-agency.com. That's theplug-agency.com. Click the link in the episode description for an exclusive offer.
It's easy to lose sleep when you're worried about your health insurance plan. But when you have a family counting on you to take care of them, having the right coverage is more important than ever. Anthem Health Keepers plans can help. With low to no cost coverage for you and your family, so you never go it alone. That's our Anthem. Click to learn more.
It's about you. It's about me. It's about us.
It's about you. It's about me. It's about us. Let's live our lives on purpose. You can talk to her. You can tell her what's wrong. She'll encourage you. Yeah. She'll help you be strong. 'Cause you're her brother, you're her sister. Tell you always got your back. You ain't gotta worry about that. 'Cause it's all about you. It's about you. Ooh, yeah. It's about me. It's about us. Let's live our lives on purpose.
It's about you. It's about me. And yes, it's about us. Welcome to Living Life on Purpose with Tonya. Enjoy, 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 enjoy. Hey everyone, it's Tonya. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. It's about us. I'm just loving being back in studio, being back so that you guys can hear what we have to say and I can hear what you have to say. So welcome to
Mama,
Hi.
how you feeling?
I am wonderful today. I'm feeling really good today. So much has happened in the last week or so.
Yes.
Just getting back from a trip to Dallas, which was amazing, and got a call from the Nick Cannon show. And so I left Dallas and caught a red eye the next day out to New York and just had an amazing time out in New York, back home. So,
Sounds fun.
oh my God, it was I had an amazing time. So the energy was just so hyped. And
So even the crowd is somewhat scripted to a certain extent on the Nick Cannon show? Is that what's...
no, it's definitely live. It's definitely live. No, and we just go to, he made tape for another day.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? But it definitely, it was really dope. It was really dope. It was a wonderful experience, and I'm going to be
Were there
going
any
back.
men in the crowd? That seems like it is solely for women.
No,
It
there
looks
were
like
there
it.
were a couple of guys. Yep, there were a couple
They
of guys.
seemed like it was.
I mean,
like
it's
their
sparse.
husbands that have been dragged
Oh
across
no,
country to go see to
no,
go see Nick Cannon.
no. There were
It
guys.
does look fun though. It looks like a
It was so dope.
fun experience.
Oh my gosh, and that dude is so sharp, and yeah, it was really good. I loved it. Just can't wait to maybe one day have my own talk show.
Yes, it can happen.
Yeah, it can happen. All things can happen. All things are possible.
Yes.
So let's see. I want to give a brief testimony just about kind of, like I said, some things that are going on in my own life. I'm really humbled and thanking God that I am getting ready to take over, if you will, or I don't want to say take over, but I will be leading a women's ministry at my church. And I'm just so thankful to God that he has given me an opportunity to create a space that I myself have
always wanted, needed, and desired to have. So I'm just so grateful. I'm like, my God, like that is just so dope. You know what I mean? That I could create a space that's inclusive, that I can be my sister's keeper, that we can encourage one another and support one another, hold each other accountable, talk about who we are and whose we are, and, you know, just about life struggles. So I'm just really, really excited. And that's a testimony for me, like I said, to be able to run a program or be in charge of, if you will, a women's ministry. So I'm just really hyped about that. And thank you. God is so, I'm telling you, God is just so worthy of the praise. And I'm, like I said, I'm just honored. And I'm going to do him proud. I'm going to, rally up these sisters. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
So, who do we have in the studio? Who's that? Who's that next to me?
I'm Dre. I'm Dre. I'm son number 3. Second to youngest.
Yes.
Second to youngest.
He's in the house and is committed to the vision of living life on purpose and helping build that bridge between the generations, if you will, to have a fresh voice, a young voice in the place so that we can learn to love, honor, and respect each other's positions, views, etc. So I'm really excited, and thank you so much, Dre, for your commitment to be in the house.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Happy to be a part of it. Happy.
Yay.
It's my pleasure.
Wonderful. Yes. Well, how about we start off with what has happened like a couple of weeks ago? Tell us about that, because that would be a good segue into what we've already started talking about, which was relationships, building bridges, how the different thoughts, feelings in regards to generational differences, etc. So let's talk a little bit about what that is that happened.
Now, this is pertaining to the baby and Danny Lay. Is that what we're...
Yes. That's what we're referencing.
Okay, well, the situation transpired where, let's say 2 young people, a relationship, brand new baby, got into an altercation. We don't know if it was physical. None of that was on camera. Mm-hmm. But afterwards, she was arrested for assault.
Wow.
The next video I saw after that was him holding his baby. So I'm not sure how physical the altercation got. I'm not sure exactly where that thing went. But I do think he did the smartest thing possible, which was to get it on camera. Mm-hmm. Because if that wasn't the case, we know how things would have went.
Right.
He'd have been the one getting charged, whether or not she had bruises, whether or not she had...
Right.
Any proof of an altercation. If the police were called with no evidence, he's going to jail. And I don't think that's up for debate. Is it? It's Jew?
Well, it's a debate, so. I think he was way out of line for that.
Wow. For having it on camera?
For having it on camera. Couples go through things, and...
To what extent? To what extent?
To a lot of extents. If my parents put every argument they had on IG Live, of course somebody going to jail.
Do we take into account that they're millionaires, that they are in the public eye, things like that?
I think it's just the internet itself.
Do we?
I mean, the public eye definitely magnifies everything they're doing. But when you put it on the internet, you know, that lives forever. That's like this dry snitching on yourself.
Wow. That both of you guys have
it's a different way to look at it.
Very, very valid points. I understand what you're saying, Dre, in regards to if, in fact, the police would have been called. I think that you're right, that that gentleman would have went to jail without question. The fact that he had the wherewithal to say, let me film it, it's sad all the way around that it happened. But again, I think that I see both points. The best scenario in my judgment would have been for them to work that thing out and not have anybody go to jail, not have anybody, be taken outside of the home. That was not the reality. But so, I don't have any judgment one way or the other. I think that they did what was best for them.
I agree.
If he would have just filmed it on his phone for his own protection, that's a whole different thing. When you put the internet into it, you put me and everybody else's opinion into it. That's when you start.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, that's out now. It's not just me and you.
Well, that's a sign of the times, though, right? Because that
is a great point to make.
Right, right. That if it was just for the police sake, he could have just
or for his name's sake.
Oh, right. He could have just presented it like
Absolutely.
that. But
you
pull the camera out just like you can pull
mean.
IG out. I mean, they both got a button.
I see what you mean on that one. Absolutely.
Interesting. So if any of you out there have thoughts and or opinions about that, please let us know. Again, people I just think it's a sign of the time. I just think it's the thing to do.
Yeah,
not even thinking about what he could have did, right? The other alternative was to tape it and not have anybody see it. But we're on. This is what it is.
Yeah, we famous.
This is what is on. Because then you got to look at now. Yeah, now you are going to be subjecting yourself to other people's opinions, right? Other people, and we live in this cancel culture, which is absolutely ridiculous. We'll definitely do a show on that. Like I said, which is absolutely ludicrous in my eyesight. But like I said, it's just the way things are. But now the effects of that, right, the fallout from that, now they both have to deal with. Because now, like I said, we live in this awful culture, cancel culture. We live in, you got trolls, I call them vultures. You know what I'm saying? They're just always trying to just feed at your flesh and diminish your character. So it's crazy. It's sad to me. Oh my God.
But yeah, everything you were saying towards the end was to hurt that woman. Every little thing. You're a side piece, yada yada. Like, she just had your baby. Chill out.
Yeah.
Like, all right, relax. We get it.
Like,
wow.
Even Jay-Z got slapped in an elevator. It's all about what you do after that moment.
Yes, very much so. That stands to your character, or against it, and that definitely stands against his character. Absolutely.
Wow.
I hope the listeners do something different if you're ever faced with a situation like that.
Please, just conflict resolution has to be a thing.
But that goes back to, are we teachable?
Yeah,
and I think that's a big elephant in this room. Is this something that we're teachable on? Postpartum depression, filming and protecting ourselves when we need to,
and protecting Black women should
God.
be a thing. The baby, we get that you were there to protect yourself on that video, but she's holding your 3-month-old child. You just had your baby.
Again, is that a thing? We know that Black women, African American women, are the least protected physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And so we need to have a dialogue. We need to be talking about that. We need to be talking about the protection of Black women. Again, who knows? I mean, 3 months she could have been going through and probably is going through.
Absolutely.
Whatever that is that she's going through, whether it's postpartum. And I didn't really, because, I'm not in that whole, what I'm saying, thing. So I really didn't know what the heck.
About the generation gap.
Right. So, and because of that reason, we're having this dialogue. We're talking about it so that we can kind of get a little bit closer and close that gap. But again, are you guys teachable? Do you even want to understand? And are the elders willing to do some teaching around that? Is there a responsible Black male that can talk to him and say, listen, that's not how you do things? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you consider, not filming her while she's, breastfeeding your baby? How about not filming, are there elders, men out there that are able to mentor these young men? And are these young men teachable? Are they ready to listen?
Some are.
Right.
A lot are. Do I think the baby's teachable? No.
Allegedly.
Let's.
Yeah, we don't want.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we don't want to get it. We don't want to get into nothing. You know what I'm saying?
if I
It's
get
just for
bopped in
subject
my
matter.
head, yeah, just of course for sake of the conversation. Do I think he's a teachable guy? Allegedly.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I would say no.
Well, we need to hear from young men, and like I said, so we can talk about.
Oh, would you like me to give my 2 cents? Because
Sure.
I think he's making us all look bad. But I think the situation itself makes us look bad as a collective. So that's young black men, young black women. Not trusting each other, not getting along. That's where that came from. Who knows what started the argument, but we know the root of it. We don't trust each other.
Right.
we just don't.
Yes, that's the result of a bigger problem.
Absolutely.
Trust
Right.
issues.
The reason why I got to that in the first place.
Yes.
Wow. So my plea to the elders is to get with a young man or two and try and school him. And for all those that are not teachable, God, I know that there's one or two out there that are teachable. Absolutely. And so we can only do what we can do. Some plant it, some water it, but it's God that gives the increase. And so, we just have to do what we have to do in our sphere of influence. If we can just get one at a time, grab a young brother, grab a young sister, and mentor them, be an example to them, not doing exactly what they're doing, but doing something different, and not saying that it's right, wrong, or indifferent. It just is. You know what I'm saying? And kind of glean from one another. You know what I'm saying? And, just see what the outcome would be.
I think the hardest question there is, where do we start? Where does the conversation start? How do we start the conversation?
I think we're starting a conversation right now.
I think it's where do we start listening? I think that's a lot of the problem with the black men is we're listening to the wrong mentors or the wrong person. I shouldn't say right or wrong, but it's just that person that you think is going to take you to your promised land or your new growth ends up being the weed, drinking all the nutrients from you, and you don't realize it. And by the time you realize it, you're all welted up, man.
I once heard somebody say, I would much rather take advice from a 55-year-old garbage man. Now, this is someone young like us. I would much rather take the advice from a 55-year-old garbage man than a 30-year-old PhD. Of course, you ask, well, why? It's because that 55-year-old garbage man has all the experience in the world, just life experience. 30-year-old's been focused on one thing the past 10 years, decades at that point.
Yeah.
You go to college 18, by 30, that's 12 years to get that PhD. He's been focused on one thing. I would much rather take advice from the elder in that situation. But our thing where we fall short with listening and having mentors, things like that, is we equate money to being able to give us advice rather than the age itself. What I mean by that is you got a 16-year-old and a 30-year-old. That 16-year-old is not going to listen to a word that 30-year-old has to say about life, things like that, unless he has money, unless he looks like and is living like he's in a position to give someone advice. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. We equate money, things like that with...
Wow.
Doesn't make it right, because we know for a fact that's wrong. I've heard homeless people kick knowledge. They got game to kick if they've been through it. The ringer and everything else.
Yeah.
They've been through it. That's the problem. Wow. That's the problem. We're looking at, just like you said, we're looking in the wrong place for knowledge. We're looking in the wrong place for growth. We're looking in the wrong places.
Because like you said, you equate
success,
money with success, and that's not it. That's not it at all. Unfortunately, I think some of that comes with self-esteem, learning who you are and things like that. Because the more I know, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know, like how much there's so much more to learn. And so every day that I, learn something or acknowledge something or get a revelation, I realize how much I don't know. And so, you just have to have a teachable spirit. You have to be open to learning and open to new ideas, et cetera, and not just so, bogged down with, the things that you see, feel, and think. I know I've had to unlearn so many things, and that's a whole nother workshop, you know what I'm saying? Unlearning and kind of dumping out the things that are not useful that I've learned. And just because we learn it doesn't mean that it's right? Just because you've been doing a thing for forever, you know what I'm saying? You can just be an expert at doing that thing wrong. You know what I mean? Because that's what you've done, right? So you can get proficient in doing something not right or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so, that's, like I said, that's a whole nother workshop, and we'll get into that too one of these days, just talking about unlearning some things. And, the people that you learn from, they learned it. You know what I'm saying? They learned how to do it that way. And so it doesn't make it right, wrong, or different. It just is, again, what it is. And that's why we have to really be diligent and steadfast in listening to one another and really gleaning from one another and getting this bridge, man, this gap, filling this gap up with and honoring and respecting one another. I have a thing that I do in my sessions with my clients. We sit in different places and we look at the same thing, and then I ask, what do they see? And because they see different things, does that make what you see wrong and what I see right, or vice versa? Absolutely not. It's a perspective. You only see what you see from where you sit. Period. So we're looking at the same thing, but we're seeing different things only simply because we are in a different space. We're in a different spot. We're looking at it, so we're having this argument. No, that's not what you see, because this is what I see. Like, really? Yeah. And we have come to that. Like, and it's sad to just, to be like that,
With that said, do you think our elders are teachable? Or do you think they're in a position to say, we messed up in a lot of areas, teaching you guys as well?
Some are and some aren't. And we need to be, like I said, there definitely needs to be a two-way street in the fact that we honor and respect your view.
That does not happen.
Because of where you sit, right? Because of where your perspective.
Do you remember when we were kids? And some people these days, they call it abuse. They say we were abused. But remember when we were kids and say you would giggle. Like, the joke started off as we couldn't even laugh as kids growing up in the 80s and 90s, because as soon as you crack a grin, he hell. Or
that wasn't me.
Something like,
did I just catch you having fun?
Huh? I give you something to smile about, or I give you something to cry about,
right?
But it was a whole thing. I thought it was hilarious because we weren't raised that way. We weren't raised off of, but we did get whoopings when it was deserved. We didn't get no timeouts. We didn't get no.
No, you got a timeout after you got your butt toe up to think about what the heck. Yeah, to get your butt toe up and then go think about it. Absolutely. No, I came up in the time
with the fear of the Lord,
with the fear of the Lord, with the fear of my mother, where
Grandma's
children
scary.
are to be seen and not heard in a sense, because my mother was also, she was an educator, so she was very open to respecting that I always had something to say. And I was always the little lady with the big voice, so I always was going to say what it is that I needed to say. But like I said, there still was that respect. I said yes ma'am and no ma'am to my mother to the day she passed. So we get better. But I think to answer your question, some are and some aren't, because they're so steeped in tradition, right? So steeped in, how they were raised, and that mindset that they can't, they feel like they can't get anything from someone that's younger, which is absolutely ludicrous. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, because you guys are dealing with things that I never had to deal with. Also, I always say that this generation would have never lasted. Like, we had some stuff, it was different, right? Yeah. Like, I got out of high school and was on my own. Out of high school. I lived in a 3-family brownstone in Brooklyn. I did my thing. These kids nowadays, you know what I'm saying? It would eat them up and spit them out. But you guys have different. You guys have different stuff to deal with, though. It just is what it is. Not taking anything away. I would not want to be a young person right now. I would not. I would not want to be a young person right now. Knowing what I know, yes, but oh my God, no.
Just starting from scratch like we. Oh no.
Nah.
It's
No, I would not want to be a kid. I don't know what. Oh my God. We went outside and we played. I used to ask my mom, look, Mom, if you're going to whoop me so I can get dressed and go. Leave. Get out the house. Nowadays, you got to push kids outside. Like, it's just different. It's just different. Yeah. It's just different. But we need to talk to one another. We need to be respectful of one another, not so willing to turn each other off or cancel one another because of whatever reason. Like, no, what you see, feel, and think is valid. And that's the one thing that I think that young people lack today, is the feeling of being important, the feeling of being heard, the feeling of being like, what you see, feel, and think is important, young man. What you see, feel, and think is important, young woman.
And it is.
You know what I'm saying? But they don't feel, heard or respected, so easy for them to disrespect themselves and others.
Agreed. 100%. So you're on the fence like me? Is it about 50-50, 60-40?
In regards to
30-70?
Elders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I'm gonna do my due justice. I really don't know, but I do know. I don't know percentage. I don't know, like, I can't speak to that, but what I can speak to is that there are many that are not willing because they're so steeped in their own belief systems. They're so steeped in their own traditions. They're so steeped in that they can't see their way clear. And so again, I say, teach those that are teachable, reach those that are reachable, and, leave the rest to themselves.
I agree completely.
What say you, Jew?
Would say...
You want me to follow those bars up?
Would say...
No, I mean, honestly, I think it's all about unlearning. I think you said that too earlier, and that's, different subject, but, you really can't learn until you unlearn. And I think the leaders, which are our elders, they should be our elders. We got to understand that is our elders. Mm-hmm. Like, success to me has always been an age. If you lived a certain amount of years, I'm always in awe of that. Grandmother died when she was 98, and I'm still in awe. Like, you lived 98 years on this planet. How did you, anyways. Mm-hmm. But just going into, if you can unlearn some of the things that you've been taught, because, you've all been led astray at some point, and then just listen to the younger generation, you can lead them in the right way, which in return, is a cycle.
Yes.
I think the cycle's just out of balance right now, and that's what we're trying to repair, is just how can we get that cycle to start moving again.
We're going to have to let some stuff go.
The young got to take care of the old, and the old got to lead the young.
Absolutely.
And be okay with that, right?
Yeah.
And just be okay with taking care of your elders, because they're elders, right? Like, the young offer strength, right? and the elders are for wisdom. And wisdom is nothing more than the ability to apply the knowledge. And with age, with years, that's what it is. You got the knowledge, right? From all those years of living, the wisdom comes in with the ability to apply the knowledge. And so it's just a matter of respect. It's just a matter, of perspective and feeling like I can honor you without diminishing anything that I see, feel, and think, right? And so, that's just where we're at, and we're working on that. We're working on that. This is what this program is about. It's about you. It's about me. It's about us. Let's live our life on purpose. Let's live our lives on purpose, for purpose. My God, it's just so freeing,
She on fire.
Perfect. Jesus.
Oh, guys, it's wonderful to be in the studio with these young people, these young men. I call them
Yes, Lord.
princes on their way to be kings, right? Because you gotta start somewhere, and I think that people resent the fact that you gotta crawl before you walk, right? Walk before you run. It's like, don't despise small beginnings, right? You gotta start somewhere, and so let's just do it. Let's be there for one another and support one another, because that's what's sustainable, actually. It's not sustainable to be talking about it's me, my four, and no more, and I am not going to be thinking about anyone else. You know what I'm saying?
That's a crazy way to think. That is a crazy way to think. I've heard that a lot, too. Yes.
Right, I'm
Me
only
and mine.
Oh, my God.
Oh, gosh.
So imagine if it's just you and yours. What are y'all going to do now that everybody else has fell off?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Got a taste of that during 2020, and
we did.
yeah, we know we don't want that. You
Nobody
want
liked
somebody
it.
else.
Nobody liked it. We're in the house with me and mine.
Me and
losing
mine.
our minds.
Again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
oh my God, unfortunately, as a result of that, my God, domestic violence was on the rise, drug abuse and use was on the rise.
Alcoholism has skyrocketed
Absolutely.
because of 2020.
So it was definitely an awakening, and if we haven't learned our lesson, we're going to go through it again. So if we fail the test, unfortunately, we're going to have to test again. And so let's hope, let's pray, let's be diligent and do our due diligence to get the lessons that are in life. Remember, life is a journey, right? Not a destination. This is not it. But at the same time, it is it, right? So we just got to get it together. And I believe, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this work, that we're gonna make it. We're gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? We are going to get there. Absolutely. And I'm gonna do everything in my power, right, and my sphere of influence, to make that happen and to live an example, right? An example, or create something that I want, right, or that I need to have happen. I'll create that space of healing, of wholeness, of, loving, accountability, safety, all of that. Create that space, a space that, like I said, I wish that I always had, but I didn't. So, and it's imperative that we do what we need to do for you guys, right? For you guys, with you guys, being engaged. Not just telling you this is what you need to do without even talking to you about what you need,
or what you would like to do.
Right.
What is it?
Right.
What is it? Who are you as well as why are you?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Great.
My son's in this thing where he's saying, I'm a person. And I'm loving it. Dad, I'm a person. You need to listen to me.
Absolutely.
All right, man, go ahead and talk.
Yeah, please. Absolutely. Please.
I love it. Because he is a little person.
You are.
He is indeed a little person. Like,
yes.
Wow, with his own thoughts and feelings and
experiences. Yes.
I love it. Absolutely. Yes. And to give space to that is can be incredibly rewarding, and allowing him to stretch, right? And not boxing him in to, what daddy thinks he should, you know what I'm saying, be, see, think, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's not saying that you don't set those boundaries, because that's what parents do, right? Set those boundaries, but allow them to spread their wings as well. You know what I'm saying? Saying, just like we've been saying, that what you see, feel, and think is valued. What you see, feel, and think is important. But here's the, you know what I'm saying, to keep you safe, right? Because you don't have enough knowledge or wisdom.
You don't have the experience.
You don't have the knowledge nor the wisdom to keep yourself safe in this regard, right? So that's what I'm here to do. You know what I'm saying? Make your playground big enough for you to play in, but also safe.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one. Our sandbox was big. We just fell off the monkey bars a lot.
And
got
such
burnt
is
on
life.
a slide a lot.
Such is life. And I don't know about other parents, but I know I have a visceral reaction in my body when my sons, my grown sons, are hurt in any way. So if I could keep them from hurt, harm, and danger, I would. And I know that one of my sons said something so profound to me one day. He said, Mom, if you could control, like if you had your way, we would be successful. We would be this, we would be that, even down to our salvation. And it just blew me away that he got it, right? Like, wow, I know that I can't, right? Because once you train them up in the way in which they should go, and then you just gotta pray and hope that they will continue in that, right? Even if they stray, the seeds have been planted, right? The foundation has been laid, and the foundation is solid. So it's not going to go anywhere. Not to saying that they're not going to go and, you know what I'm saying, scrape their knees and do, but that's all that one can do. Like I said, and still to today, even with my grandkids, like I love so much till it's scary. It's like, oh my God, I want to keep them from like anything that's gonna hurt them, or just, it's crazy.
The baby can't get soap in his eye. He can't.
Well, then there's that. But but the reality is that on this side of life, trials and tribulations are gonna come. There's gonna be hurts. There's gonna be disappointments. There's gonna be all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't stop me from not wanting that to happen, but I realize that it's going to, and I just have to live with that. Like, just like, okay, God,
It's got to.
just let it not be so, devastating or whatever. So I don't know, but what are you guys out there? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on anything that we've been talking about? Please
send in. What do you think will help us bridge this gap?
Right. Check in with us.
Please.
Check in with us and let us know what your thoughts are, what you see, what you feel, what you think. Because we're going to get there, guys. This is the beginning.
Yes.
This is the beginning of repairing the breach. This is the beginning of living our best lives for real, not just in theory, right? Or because it sounds good, but actually living our lives on purpose.
It's about you. It's about me. It's about us. Let's live our lives on purpose.
Yo, it's Julius, and I just made traveling easier with the motorized scooter suitcase. Let me say it again. Motorized scooter suitcase. Yeah, that's right. The luggage has got a built-in electric motor. So the suitcase, I can ride it and glide through the airport or the train station, through downtown, and it all fits in the overhead storage bin. No more crowded terminals trying to say, excuse me, y'all gonna see me gliding through there. I can hop in and off the light rail like it's no problem. I'm not struggling to carry these heavy ass bags of podcast equipment anymore. All you gotta do is just click the link in the episode description that says Smart Suitcase. Click Smart Suitcase and see what I'm talking about. I'm telling y'all, it's going to change the way, if you're traveling, this is going to change everything. Click the link. Let's go.